forfeited by DSP Alamesia confirmed in a letter dated 30th September 2013 that a total sum of 1.9 billion naira was remitted to EFCC between 24th of June 2008 and 12th of March 2009 as proceeds from the sales, including interest earned thereupon, up to the date of remittances. Please refer to Exhibit 1. Go to Exhibit 1 now. This letter is from Exhibit 1. These are the properties from Alamesia. Okay. 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 Go to the third page. You see the total 1.9 billion. Exhibit 1, 1, 2, 3. These are all the properties and everything. Then the total on the third page is 1.9 billion. Sorry, Chairman, for the third page of Exhibit 1, 1.9 billion. Okay. Now, 3. The agent referred to in 2 above also confirmed remitting the sum of 60 million naira via the Intercontinental Bank draft dated 29 April 2008 to EFCC as a balance of rent revenue after repairs on some properties belonging to DSP Alamesia. Go to Exhibit 4. This is Exhibit 4 now. This is the check for 60 million naira. Check. And the letter from real estate derivatives, Access Bank, deposits. Well, this is the you saw it. The total sum of 3.7 billion was confirmed by EFCC and the agent who managed it and sold the properties as the total actual amount that accrued as at 12 of March 2009 from assets forfeited by DSP Alamesia. That's after he totaled everything. EFCC traded with the funds, which is in breach of extant law. EFCC traded with the funds, 3.7 billion, up to 18th of January 2010 at a minimum of 12% interest per annum. However, out of the actual total amount of 3.7 billion, the sum of 2.9 billion has been traced to one of EFCC recovery account in Access Bank. Based on these 2.9 billion alone, EFCC has earned an interest of 467.7 million at 12% per annum. Please go to Exhibit 6A to G of how the interest of 467 million was arrived at and documents evidencing use of the funds by EFCC to earn interest. So let's go to Exhibit 6, please. Exhibit 6, and you will see, no, it's this one.
That's right.
Exhibit 6A to G. Okay. You see, this is Access Bank. Deposit. You see the interest amount at maturity. And you go to the third page of the Access Bank, you see what I put: alarms 6A, 6B. These are the monies regarding Alamesia. Go to another page, you see Alamesia 6C. Go to another page, Alamesia 6D, E, F, and G. So that is how the interests were earned. Now, the actual sum of 3.7 billion as at 12/13/2009 added to the interest earned of 467.7 million as at 18 January 2010 provided a remittable amount of 4.2 billion naira as at 18 January 2010. But EFCC instead remitted only 3.1 billion naira and still keeping back the sum of 1.1 billion naira. See copy of CBN statement of account evidencing the remitting of 3.1 billion herein. Go to Exhibit 9 now. You will see where 3.1 billion. Go to Exhibit 9, you see debit, the exact amount, 3.1 billion. And it says, being refunds or proceeds of assets of Mr. DSP Alamesia. This was sent to Bayelsa, so the Bayelsa state was just changed. Now, EFCC has continued to trade with a balance of 1.1 billion between 18 January 2010 to 30 November 2013, a period of about 3.5 years, at the same interest rate of 12% per annum. This money had yielded an interest of 474 million naira, which should accrue to Bayelsa State, Bayelsa State government, but EFCC is not only keeping it back, but still trading with it. As at the 30th of October 2013, EFCC is still keeping back the sum of 1.6 billion naira that belongs to the Bayelsa State government. This amount is part of the 3.2 billion tucked away by EFCC in a fixed deposit account with Access Bank CSBC. CSBC 6, sorry. CSBC 6 here. Now, based on this information, when I gathered this information, Chairman, I decided to start with Bayelsa State, the former president's own state. So I approached DSP Alamesia, and I showed him this evidence. And DSP said, yes, you are right. Everything they took from me were never accounted for. But who am I to say anything? Everybody already, brands me as a thief. I said, yeah, there is something you can do, because under the law, that even in US, even the most notorious drug dealer, once you mention in court that something was taken from you from DEA agents and they keep it to themselves, your case will be dismissed. That is malicious, that is prosecutorial misconduct. And I went to the state government, I disclosed the same to them. They said, the amount you have they sent to us is exactly what we received. I said, now you have a refund, 1.4 billion and $1.3 million. They said, what do we do? I said, give me a letter of mandate. So there's a letter from Bayelsa State to me. That is a mandate letter written to me to collect these monies. So based on the mandate, I formally wrote EFCC. Now everything transpired in 2013. So anybody that is saying that this is a new thing is lying. You see the letter of mandate dated November 19, 2013. You see the letter I wrote EFCC 26th of November 2013. Am I rushing? Am I going too fast? Okay. Then you see EFCC's letter to me inviting me for 12 December 2013. For 19th of December, to appear 19th of December 2013. I attended the meeting with Uboh, the head of asset forfeiture. Lasted for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. Very short, brief meeting. They said, yes, we have the money. Before the beginning of 2014, you will have the money in your account. I was to receive the money, keep my percentage, send the balance to my client, Bayelsa State. 2014 came, we were playing phone tags, money never came. If all Nigerians are aware, around February, March 2014, something went viral that Bayelsa State dragged the EFCC to court. That was me. I felt if EFCC didn't want to pay the money, I had to take them to court. I took EFCC to court. The same day the news went viral, the governor of Bayelsa State came out and denied me that he did not give me mandate, that he's not suing EFCC. That was when I started calling EFCC a Gestapo-style organization. If you can intimidate a governor, a sitting governor, to deny someone he gave a mandate, the next day Governor Dixon called me to a meeting on Osuma Street, his home. He appreciated what I'm doing, but made it clear to me that he does not want to take EFCC to court. I said, why? Let's break it down to layman's parlance. I'm a debt collector for you. If your debtor refuses to pay, the only thing you do in any society is you go to court. He said he doesn't want to go to court. And I said, plus you put me in harm's way by denying my mandate. That was when I made up my mind that EFCC must be investigated to the fullest, even if it has to cost my death, because nobody's a second-class citizen in this country. So now, the governor sent me a letter, now went to court to dismiss the case I filed. So EFCC didn't even appear in court. It was the governor, my client, that dismissed the case. Because he didn't want to go to court, of course. So what happened in court is a subject of another corruption investigation I have, not for this one. But I think this ends my submission for this case. Distinguished chairman and members of Committee on Ethics, Privileges, and Public Petitions, you are looking at a man who has been threatened. You are looking at a man whose family has pretty much said, hey, you on your own, buddy, whatever happens to you. And the more people tell me that, the more I want to fight the EFCC, because I am right. After you look at my evidence, I will give you 30 days. If the evidence I've submitted is fake, arrest me. If the evidence is genuine, arrest Lamode. That is all I have to say.
Some members of this committee walked in, and it's appropriate and important that we must introduce.
Olaka Mogo, I represent the people of Rivers East Senatorial District in Rivers State.
Jeremiah will say. Sorry, microphone. Go ahead, introduce.
I think they can hear me.
Yes. You're welcome. Distinguished colleagues, I'm sure you must have heard very clearly Shetty's petition before this committee. So the floor is open for questions, please.
To say a few things. Chilo Koroma is my name. I'm the director of the Legal and Prosecution Department of Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
Okay. Yes, just 1 minute. Just please, we petitioner, and we'll hear him. After which we already have a time for EFCC to address the issue. But even before this time, I think we already have a letter from your office, asking for a date, another date. So let's hear. So you may not have opportunity to contribute to this issue now. Thank you very much.
Thank you to let the chairman that we are here, and that when we came midway when the petitioner was making his presentation, and we were somehow taken aback because some of the documents he was referring to, the statistics, the data, they were not made available to us. Just want to place that on record. They were not made available to us. All these documents he was referring to, figures, facts and figures, he was in his petition, were not made available to us. I just felt I should just put that on the table. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. It's against the person of the chairman of EFCC and at the commission. But now, and we already, before we invite the petition, the person that's petitioned to, we already sent advance copy of that petition. And you already, I'm sure your commission has already advance copy of the petition from the petitioner. And what we normally do, please, what we normally do is that let's hear the petitioner. We can't hear from one side. After hearing from the petitioner, we already have a letter from your commission to give you another date. So there's no point for you to make any contribution because I don't even, since you already said the letter, I don't know why you are trying to here to make a comment.
Distinguished Chairman, please insistent. I don't want to join issues with utmost respect. When I heard him, all his references were to EFCC. He said EFCC did this, EFCC did that, EFCC did that. I was thinking that the petition was against the person of Ibrahim Lamode. From what I had, from even what I could gather from the Honorable Chairman, all his references were to EFCC, EFCC. So I just felt I should also bring that up. Thank you.
Okay.
Distinguished Chairman, before he came, he said that, so if you are not here, maybe you missed the bus or something. I said that the documents were prepared under the leadership of Lamode. I am the CEO of Panic Alert. Anything that comes under my leadership, I bear the brunt. Do I make myself clear?
That's fine. Listen, there is no issue here. Please, like I think you will excuse us for now. We are still taking the petitioner. We have not finished with him. We still have opportunity to come and explain these things to the committee. So I think we have just given opportunity. It's not a practice. So, or if you want me to write a letter from your office, read it. Okay. Just 1 minute.
We have the letter. I know that's what.
1 minute.
Yes,
just
sir.
your microphone.
Yes, sir.
Please, we have a letter from your office, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, in address to the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions. Invitation to a meeting of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Petitions. I am directed to respond to a letter dated 19th August 2015, inviting the Executive Chairman to a meeting of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions of the National Assembly in respect of a petition, a copy of which was attached, brought to the Senate by Dr. George Uboh, the Chief Executive Officer of Panic Alert Security Systems, PAS, a non-governmental organization, and referred to your committee for detailed legislative investigation. Sir, we wish to refer you to our reply to a letter from the Chief of Staff to the President of the Senate with the subject invitation to a briefing dated 8th July 2015 with reference blah, 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 attached a copy. In the said letter, we humbly inform the Chief of Staff that due to constraints of time, limitations, and the nature of our operations, the briefing cannot hold as intimated. We further appeal for another date to be fixed in line with our usual reporting schedule to the National Assembly as enshrined in Section 37 of the EFCC Established Act 2004 to the effect that, I quote, that the Commission shall not later than 30th of September in each year submit to the National Assembly a report of its activities during the immediately preceding year and shall include in such report the audited accounts of the Commission. Sir, by our understanding, the committee would like to have comprehensive information of all recovered, forfeited, and or receipted funds and property in defense of the said charges. In view of this, you are kindly invited to note that the Commission has since May 2014 commissioned KPGM to carry out an independent and thorough audit of SEM from the inception of the Commission to date in all 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation, where we have our offices. We shall submit the report to the National Assembly as part of our annual report and to the committee in particular in about 3 weeks when we must have finished reconciliation with the audit firm. It is very worrying to note that the said petitioner, Dr. George Uboh, is an accused person in a case instead against him by the Commission. FRS judge, that's another issue. Pending before the Honorable Justice of this. Also, noteworthy is that the bottom line of this letter is that you are asking for an extension of time. That's the bottom line. So this letter is quite explanatory. So let us just leave it at that. Let us finish with the petitioner today. We will now, committee will meet and give you the extension of time, and we'll communicate with you officially.
I believe and I respect this committee, the noble this and distinguished senators, I really want to be enlightened with utmost respect. I don't know the procedure of the committee. I don't know. I would like to know how the propriety of hearing a petitioner in our absence when he's making his presentation, referring to documents, making oral documents, which we are not even present to address. I just
okay, just one. Okay, my members would like to say something, please. Yes. Okay, Senator Dino, please.
The committee have the prerogative to decide the methodology or approach to any investigation. And what we have adopted in this particular case is to listen to the petitioner first, independently, listen to EFCC independently, and there will be time for both parties to come. Because now what is happening is that there is already altercation, even when we have not started. We are here today to listen to the petitioner, draw evidence from his presentation, and then invite you at a later date, and also listen to you and draw information from your presentation. Then we will bring, if there's need, we will bring both of you together. Then we can now draw conclusions. So what we are doing now is that I am of the opinion that since a letter was written by the EFCC excusing herself from the hearing today, it would have been very correct for you not even to have appeared, because having written a letter that you are not available, asking for another extension of time. So the committee will sit, consider an extension of time, and give you a date to appear. And the day you are appearing, we are not going to invite the petitioner. So I think the procedure is very, very clean and clear, so that we don't begin to go forth and back.
Senator Rafi.
Our members and to the father, I think the gentleman purportedly representing EFCC, I think the procedure is before anybody talk to this committee is supposed to be under oath. So since they are not supposed to be here, I think I will just invite the chairman to ask them to walk out. Then you communicate with them, so that we can continue with that.
That's the field of the members, right?
Yes.
With due respect, please, my colleagues have said, we'll have a time when we'll invite you. And I want you to know and put on record that this is a fact-finding committee. We're investigating the issue. Based on the report, it's a report. So we're not a court. So this is not the time. This is a committee of the Senate investigating on a fact-finding on allegations against the commission. So for now, let's hear from the petitioner and then we'll invite you. So it's against the chairman, and we want at the time when we'll invite, we want the chairman to also appear before this committee. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So they are messing up themselves. We will not go back there later on. We can invite them anytime. In fact, they shouldn't have come in at all. I don't know why we're allowed.
Yes, please, the committee is still in section, please. Please. Distinguished colleagues, we have heard from the petitioner. And if you have any question, please.
Yes,
But more, Senator Shitu, please.
Doctor, you allege that the Commission has violated the provision of its own law. Please, can you give section of the law that has been violated?
On my submission, section.
Distinguished colleagues, we have heard from the petitioner. And if you have any question, please.
Yes,
But more, Senator Shitu, please.
Doctor, you allege that the Commission has violated the provision of its own law. Please, can you give section of the law that has been violated?
On my submission, section 36 of the EFCC Establishment Act is very clear.
36.
It talks about after seizure, forfeiture, the EFCC is to transfer. You see, I don't have a problem. I know EFCC has a right to investigate, arrest, prosecute, seize, and forfeit. My portion, what I'm talking about is failure to remit back to the government, federal or state, depending on the case, and grossly understating seized assets vis-a-vis funds. I gave DSP Alamesias on just as a test case, and in my submission I said that over 95% of offshore seizures do not make it to Nigeria. These are the issues I would want the chairman to address. You cannot confiscate all these monies and property from Alamesia. In the exhibit book, you just put 1 point something billion. I mean, come on.
You're right.
Where are they? Emmanuel Nwude, the same thing. I have those documents. Now, apart from not even remitting the fraction of what they recovered that they put in on the exhibit book, they are still trading with the recoveries, which is still against the law. And because of their inability to explain these recoveries, of course, to hide, they have to doctor books. You take your calculator, calculate most of the evidence is there. After you've calculated internally, you shortchange Tafa Balogun's recovery by 779 million. Now, when you moved to another bank, you have taken the 779 million. That is trying to cover all this.
I know you've answered this question.
Offshore seizures.